What's up, everyone? Let's just walk through a bit of a recap from yesterday and kind of what I'm expecting coming into today. So yesterday on GU there was no trades, unfortunately. I said I wanted to partially sell from this point. What we got was a random news event giving us that partial sell. Just nothing we can do. And then obviously came into this area and pushed up, and there was nothing. And then New York, just continuation. So GU, there was nothing yesterday. I did take a sell on AU here, which was a break even. That kind of did what I wanted, just not quick enough. Euro did have a buy in the end of the session. So that's what I wanted to see yesterday. I wanted to catch the sell, obviously, because I only trade London. They did have a buy in New York. So it took this 15-minute structure, which we were targeting yesterday, and then had a really good entry. And I'll kind of walk through that quickly. It was actually really simple. The timing of it was perfect. Nothing to come and pick on. So you had internal break, which kind of did nothing. But you had this point as a trap, and it confirmed that trap relatively pretty early. So realistically, we'll just be looking at setting something like that, and then just targeting the external high to continue with what we were doing, or targeting a 1 to 3. So that was a pretty clean trade. Even just this high is quite clean. I don't trade New York, so nothing we could have done. Now, coming into today on the 4 hour, exactly what we wanted to have happen has happened. Like, it is followed to a T, which is really, really nice. And now we've come up this high, I kind of want to keep buying. We have induced enough now to sell, so just keep that in mind. And GU does say sells. Looking at what we've kind of got here, you've got that internal break, you've got this point here, so I am okay to buy off of this low. It's just not really giving me too much off of that. In terms of anything else, I would rather sell, but EU is giving us nothing, so I'll set an alert here. That is the only thing I see for EU coming to today, is to buy off that low. GU on the 4 hour has done exactly what we wanted as well. It's just playing out to a T. As you guys are probably seeing over these videos, just the higher time frame analysis is just clicking and clicking and clicking, and once you get direction right, it's just about taking those trades. It just hasn't been many this week, which is quite unfortunate. But we have now taken this break and retest. I'm expecting a little bit of a sell-off in terms of where we could be coming. You've got this break here, which is more or less the internal break here. So you've got this really clean point, more or less, that sits here, that did react off this decisional area here. You've got this break here, so more or less you've got this structure as well. This is just internal, and we're internally bullish. So you can look at something like that. There's just no liquidity into it. I would more or less want to sell. So the liquidity we've taken over to the left, this liquidity here is really important liquidity in my opinion. So I'm just looking to sell off of this. We have come into a supply as well, so we've kind of got some multiple confirmations for that. In order to sell, we need to come all the way back up to the high, which won't be possibly in New York. I might even look at New York today just because there's been no trades this week, but I would say more or less a trade for tomorrow. So what I'm kind of wanting is something like that. Obviously a quick drawing, but I'm wanting things to sell off a little bit. USDCAD has played out to a T all week as well. There's just been no way to get in. On the 4 hour, it's playing out to a T. I think we're selling now. I've kind of got nothing to work with. We've racked off this, so I'm expecting a little bit of a buy up. So we have taken an internal, just a random internal point. Doesn't really hold much. More just want to continue with that selling, so we can't do that until we push up. So nothing on CAD that we can do. AUD, we're obviously coming for this high time frame point on the 4 hour. Makes perfect sense. That's exactly what we wanted to have happened. Coming to here makes a lot of sense. Now that we've obviously pushed through here, we've completed the structure cycle. Now I think we're pushing back up. In terms of what broke this low, you've got this decisional which we've broken through, and then you've got the extreme. So we're heading up there. I don't see this turning around. In terms of buying, we've taken this low, which holds a bit of weight. You may just get a reaction and a push off of that, but I don't want to work with that structure. So I'm going to wait for things to kind of sort itself out. Gold, I'm happy to sell with from where we are. There's just no structure again. It's building liquidity to the downside. I would more or less need it to come and take this high and then sell off. And finally, that's kind of the best option coming into today, is just to get that. Okay, so that was what I wanted the other day. That's more or less what we're kind of looking at coming in today. So I'll set an alert and I'll watch it, but I would say it's not going to happen. I would say more or less today is going to be a non-trading day. And the DXY has obviously done exactly what we wanted, push up above that high and then melt. And just show that we are bullish. We've pushed through that decisional now, so we're due for a retracement, which is what all the pairs are doing. So buys on the DXY and sells on every other pair. I just don't see a way to get in. GU's cooked. EU's cooked. We haven't really broken internal. You've kind of got low, high, low, high. So until we break this low, we're not internally bearish. And there's just nothing we can do with a straight range. So not saying anything for today. I'll update you guys if anything changes, but I would say today is going to be a non-trading day. Stay tuned for this breakdown. That'll be coming more than likely tomorrow. Go and have a look at the other breakdown from yesterday if you've got some time. And let's just let the market kind of build itself up and we'll go from there.